On January 30th, 2017, NASA released a twin study, which studied the DNA of identical twins Mark and Scott Kelly. The study showed that Scott's DNA, once identical to his brother Mark's, changed and mutated because of his environment, whether Earth or outer space. Further proof that we are transformed by our environment on levels of which we might be unaware, but changes are taking place nonetheless. How is your environment changing you?
Communication training. You're really gonna like this.
I know that the discussion that started as political has now transformed into something else. And it's time that I start to speak because I've been called and you've been called. We've all been called or you wouldn't be here. And many of us are just stuck as to, what am I going to say? How can I say it? How can I be effective? You can be effective remembering these 9 principles. First of all, remember, you are not here to conform. You are here to transform, and you have the power to do so. The same power that made you, that took 2 people and made something out of nothing because they came together, that power might not be of you, but it's in you. And you're here and I'm here. And together, if we remember, our job is to transform our environment. Unless we do that, our environment will be transforming us. So many of us find ourselves in situations or in offices or in relationships in which we really are suffering, and we see that people around us are suffering, and we think to ourselves,
well, I'm just not going to let it get to me.
We have seen people do that, where they think,
I'm just going to stay out of it.
You can never stay out of it. Anything that is presented to you, you're in it. It's been presented to you. Anytime you say, well, I'm just going to put it in God's hands. Well, God put it in your hands. And we've all been given all the tools, all the power, all of the resources to really be transformers everywhere we go. But we have to recognize that there's no neutrality. Something's going on here all the time. But many of us, we don't know what to do. Dan O'Connor, I don't want to get into a political discussion. I'm not political. It doesn't interest me. But when you look at the environment in which we find ourselves today, the communication environment, the dialogue, the conversation that's taking place, do you want to be part of that? Or do you want to change that? Because we can no longer disregard the platforms that we have been given, or they will be taken away. And if you're looking for some way to kind of do your part to help us navigate these waters in which we find ourselves these days, these principles will help you do just that. They will help you remember the substance of which you are made so that you can infuse that substance in everything that you say using these 9 principles, because it's all about tapping into the power that made us who we are. Because true power, remember, comes from just one thing. If you are able to create, make something out of nothing, that is power. And that only comes from one thing. And we will be cultivating that thing, making it grow, nourishing it, and infusing it in everything that we say, starting with these lessons. So, are you ready? These are the 9 miraculous principles that will transform every relationship in your life, starting today. And let's start off with principle number 1. If you have followed me on YouTube or taken any of my courses or bought any of my books or other lessons, you have already become familiar with this lesson. And that is number 1, there is no neutrality in the universe. I'm going to go through all of the 9 principles, and then we're going to come back and go through them one by one. Number 2 is, you cannot cast out darkness with more darkness. Number 3, the opposite of weakness is love. Number 4, believing in separation is insanity. Number 5, we only defend what we believe to be vulnerable. Number 6, the greater the illusion, the more distracting it becomes. Number 7, allowing people to be who they are will set you free. Number 8, changing your mind is a sign of wisdom. And number 9, forgiveness is the only option. When you think about the communication challenges that many of us are facing, whether it's a day-to-day challenge, dealing with a difficult customer, or whether it's a daily challenge dealing with coworkers who won't shut up about their political beliefs, a lot of us are really struggling finding our voice and finding an appropriate venue to deliver our messages. Because I was watching the Golden Globes the other night. I don't know if you watched it. Not the Golden Globes, the SAG Awards. Winona Ryder, I love you more than ever. And when I was watching it, I was listening to some other people in the pub talk about how they were disgusted because the actors were really grandstanding and, you know, taking their few minutes on stage to further their political agenda. And I thought, you know, what is a more appropriate venue than a platform that you have been given, no matter if it's for 5 minutes or 2 minutes, or if it's the dinner table or the boardroom or here on YouTube. If you have been given a venue, some type of platform, and you believe that you have a message that needs to be heard, what could possibly be more appropriate than to deliver that message in whatever venue you find yourself? I thought it was an excellent choice of venues for everybody involved. And I think that if we all took more advantage of the venues that we have been given, whether it is your dinner table and your children that are your audience, or it is your boardroom and your coworkers are your audience, or it's your YouTube channel and your subscribers are your audience, I think that if we do not use the platforms that we have been given, they will be taken away from us. And let's take a moment to talk to Mom. Hello.
Daniel, you don't do this. Your hair.
Well, if I finish this, I'm trying to do some videos. If I finish them, I will. But it all depends on how it goes.
Oh, don't do that.
Okay, well, you never know. I'll call you if something comes up. Love you too. Okay, bye. So, I encourage everybody, really especially those who would be watching this video, to take advantage of every platform you have, because we are at a time where we all need help. We all need a positive voice. We all need somebody, when we start to believe the insanity that's going on, to snap us back into reality and say, hey, that's not real. This is real. So I'd like you to join me as we go through the other 8 lessons. And keep in mind, what you want to do with these principles is this: focus on it. When you wake up in the morning, get out of bed and look around and ask yourself, how is this environment right here in my bedroom, how is it transforming me? When you go into work, how is this transforming me? When you go to the grocery store, how is this transforming me? And be conscious of the environment in which you are placing yourself. And be conscious of asking yourself, am I making a difference here? You know, am I cultivating something here? Or am I being changed? Is this cause or is this effect? You know, when I look at the White House and the things that are happening, I have to keep in mind that is not a cause of people's suffering. That is an effect of people's suffering. We are all in this boat together. What am I doing to cause this? What am I doing to contribute to all of the things that I see as wrong? Because remember, lesson number 4 is to believe in separation is insanity. And when we start to recognize every single thing that I see, every single thing that has presented itself to me, every conversation that has been had in front of me or with me, I'm a part of. It's not something that I'm simply witnessing. I'm a part of this. So if I see something that I don't like going on in the world, I can't say them, they. It's the blankety blank group. I can no longer do that. I can't make the mistake of separating myself from what's going on in my world, because doing so disempowers me. And I'm a selfish communicator, as you know. If I have the power to transform my environment, that means I am not separate from it. So to in any way separate myself from my neighbor, from my brother, from my countrymen, from anybody is going to buy into the illusion that we are separate, therefore disempowering me, and therefore disempowering the whole world, because I'm not contributing what I've been brought here to contribute. I am not participating as I have been brought here to participate. And I am not using the power that is in me, but not of me, that is here to not conform, but transform my environment and create miracles every single day. That is what I'm here to do. That is what you are here to do. And it's time that we do it more proactively, more consciously, and more collectively. So if you can pass this on to other people who can join us in our transformation of the conversation, I would appreciate that. And remember to subscribe to this channel and subscribe to DanO'ConnorTraining.com newsletter, because we have lots of exciting materials that are coming out on these lessons and more principles like this, as well as, remember, we have the live, what is it? The live, the live, what do you call it? The live retreat. We have the live retreat coming up in March 2018, and it's a very limited space. There's only about 30 spaces. So if you want one of those, make sure to contact us right away and reserve your seat. I don't have all of the details, or I'd give it to you now, but hopefully in these upcoming lessons, by the time they're done, I should have more details for you so that you can reserve your spot and bring anyone else that you like who is an alchemist and is taking an active part in transforming the collective consciousness and the global conversation. So for everybody here at Dan O'Connor Training, remember, lesson number 2 is tomorrow, and that is going to be, you can't cast out darkness with more darkness. Sha.
Hey, where did everybody go?